Hello there, and welcome to this episode of the MIDI CNC Router build. Now this is the left-hand Y-axis, and of course left and right are actually different, very slightly. One is the mirror image of the other, and the x-axis is going to be pretty well identical to the right hand side of the y-axis, but they're all virtually the same. It just means that the motor assembly, motor and screw, is run the other way. Doesn't make any difference to the rails. Now, when you put this together, everything is governed by the top edge of this assembly or chassis. So the first job I have to do is to drill and tap and mount all the holes and the screws and bolts, and attach this top rail, because everything is, sort of worked from that, as in the clearance between this bearing block and this bearing as well. I want at least a millimeter clearance here. Top side and bottom side, and it's that that's going to give me the position of this lower rail, and I'll probably make a jig to fit in between here, so I can place in here, clamp this down, mark all the holes out, drill them all, and I can place a jig in here. Really, it's just I suppose a measuring block of some sort, to make sure that I can screw this end in and then put the jig in down that end and screw that end up tight, and know that these are absolutely parallel. It's not going to jam up or anything like that, or have any sort of tight areas. So it's a little bit fiddly, but it's not going to get done just by looking at it, is it? Okay, let's get on with it. I've decided to carry this project out as much as I can using this type of tools that any woodworker would have on hand in their workshop. So, with the exception, I've got a piece of 1 inch by 2 inch aluminium bar here, left over from another project. But you could use a piece of the box section left over from cutting the chassis parts, which I did on the last video. This would work the same. All I was after was a straight flat edge that I could clamp the 60 by 10 aluminium plate up to. Then I've got just ordinary Irwin clamps actually, clamping the rail up against it, so I know that the rail and the plate, the top edge is exactly parallel, because it's all clamped up against this, or a piece of good angle aluminium, that would be alright too. And I'm actually using some leftover, this is Merbu, okay, quite an exotic wood, very hard, it's very straight. I'm just using it really to pack it up off the bench, and another piece to hold the two rails down. I'm only using the second rail to be able to bridge across, you know, with a piece of Merbu, so I could clamp this one down. Okay, I'll give you a side view in a minute. And this is all clamped down to the bench, because what I want to do is I just want to mark with a drill. Now the holes in the rail are 4.5 millimeter. So I've got a 4.5 millimeter drill that I'm just going to pop through the existing holes in the rail and mark the material underneath the 160 mm by 10 mm plate. I want to put about 4 holes in, so I'm just going to mark in 4 places, then dismantle this and then drill through it with a pretty ordinary drill press. This is what I've had for 30 years. But this is the type of equipment, you know, this is all you really need. I would say that it would be preferable to use a little drill press like this rather than hang on to your cordless drill and try and drill through nice and square. You can do it, but, you know, I'm using minimal equipment here. Okay? So of course when I've done that, then I can tap a thread in for these screws and attach that top rail with the 4 screws. Okay? And then I've got it solidly mounted that I can drill all the rest. It's sort of going to be difficult for me to sort of mark every hole. I'd rather secure it with 4 first, check it all, because it's not too late to alter things, and you know, then secure it and then mark it with a drill. So that's what we're going to do next. But I'll give a side view first, so you can see that might be able to see the layout here a little better. So all the setup is G-clamps, Irwin clamps, and some leftover Merbu, and you know, it's quite solidly mounted there, and very accurately mounted here, so I can mark those holes. Again, simple setup. So I've just got some blocks of 90 by 35, actually this is, and really just set them here just to hold this level, or level as you can, and we'll just sight this up. That's about it there. We'll just give it a little bit of WD-40 and we'll drill this one through. Better find the drill plugged in. That's what's commonly known as peck drilling. So you peck it like a bird. So you go through about a millimeter, 1/16 of an inch, and then withdraw the drill back out, and then put it in again another 1/16 of an inch, or 1 millimeter, and you go through all the way like that. The material coming off doesn't clag up on the end of the drill. It doesn't weld itself to the drill because you don't give it long enough time to get too hot, and you can clear the hole out, and that's the way to cut, especially aluminium. Okay, now cutting a thread in aluminium, I always use WD-40. Brilliant stuff. Put some in the hole like that, not a great amount of it. Some on the top. Now you've got to, what I do is give it about 2 turns in, then reverse and bring it back out to clear out the hole, and to clear to actually break off the shards and get rid of them. So we're pretty square there. There you have a perfectly straight guide rail that is perfectly square with the top of that 60 by 10 main chassis member. I've now got both of these permanently on there, and they're parallel throughout their entire length, plus or minus a couple of thou, and you know, about the closest I can get it, which is good enough. And I have pre-assembled this now, and I've got the preloading nut on here, bearings are all preloaded up, and the little lock grub screw is done up. I've got the circlip in on the end there, so this is ready to go now. So now it comes the time to accurately position this, and that's very easy thing to do. Now, we know this is parallel, and we know they're in the right place. Get my seat out of the way, and you just simply, I've actually got a mark on here where it's supposed to go, but I know that the outer edge of this to this face here needs to be 100 millimeters or 4 inches, which it is on that line. Now, to get this parallel with the rest of it, you could either use the actual bearing blocks here and, you know, sort of accurately measure it. Or, very simple method is I know that I want a 6mm gap here, or clearance. You just get a 6mm drill, or an imperial, you know, if you're working in imperial, use the imperial equivalent, and you just pop down between there and just press that up against in there like that, and get him on the line there. So you know that is exactly right, but I'll just check it. The clearance is going to be correct, and it is. It's 1.5mm clearance, but a 1/16 of an inch between here. And the same with this end. Okay, and as I've moved it, best to recheck. Okay, so we know that's right. That is in the right place. To double check it, obviously measure the other end as well. And this is exact. Oh, can't see me. And this is the same measurement as well. 4 inches or 100mm to the inside of this block, to the end of the piece. So now all I've got to do is clamp it there in that position and just do some spot hole drills, and then drill it to tap-in size and tap thread in there. So that's what we're going to do next. If you're going to do a job like this, do yourself a favour, especially if you're the wrong side of 60. Invest in a, I think I paid something like $35 for this, a digital vernier gauge, which will do inches and millimetres. It's a damn godsend, because I can't, you know, I can't read the divisions of thousandths of an inch on a standard type, but these are very easy to use. They tell you exactly what it is. And it's big enough letters so you can see as well. Okay, 5mm, because we're going to put a 6mm bolt in this. Or set screw, I don't know what you want to call them. 6mm. And it would help if I was plugged in. Okay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one completed axis. In this case, this is the left-hand Y axis. obviously the other side is going to be a mirror copy of this, and the x-axis is going to be the same as that. So that's how to fairly accurately put an axis together with linear guide rails and a zero backlash ball screw. I'm not putting the motor on until very last, because one major thing why is because what I asked for, which was a 5mm and an 8mm. Well, the 8mm fits okay, but they sent me a 6mm that end, so renders these useless. Now that is one thing that you know, ordering from China, sometimes, you know, these things happen, I find, because it's not the first time it's happened to me. But there you go. Nothing I can't machine up. I got a CNC mill there, and I got a couple of lathes too. So you know, I'm machine my own up. I'll probably do away with the flexible part of it, and I'll just get a bit of mild steel rod and machine one up myself. You know, no great drama. It's a shame, and I would have liked to have used those, but hey, it doesn't matter. So I think we'll draw this video to an end, and don't forget, all the plans, when I've eventually drawn them up, and I don't want to draw them up until I get this actually running and make sure everything runs perfectly. I'm sure it will, but I like to try it anyway before I put any plans up, and you know, someone copies it and copies my mistakes then. I don't want that to happen, so you know, it's pretty straightforward, I think. So and don't forget, they will be available to patrons, okay? And you know, this channel survives because of the patrons that support the channel, because you know, since COVID and certainly the online protection for children, which I'm all in support of course, all the ad revenue, or the major ad revenue, has just gone away, and not likely to come back in a hurry either. So if you'd like to become a patron, the information will be at the end of this video in the credits, and also below this video in the just below the description, and it would help, you know, the channel out an awful lot and help me to continue bringing, you know, content like this. So again, thank you patrons for doing what you do, and thank you for potential patrons then as well. And thank everybody for watching the video today. Please like and subscribe. And now the next video, you know, I don't want to repeat this. I'll you know, over the next week I'll build the others up like this, as far as this. But I think the next video that I make will be on the CNC mill, because I need to make some sort of connection between this ball nut and the underside of, in this case, the upright arm for the gantry, which I'm going to make out of 25mm or 1 inch by 2 inch bar stock aluminium. So I'll be, you know, making probably a bit of a shape, and you know, boring the hole out on the inside and doing the drillings to connect, you know, to this, and also the upright of the gantry. And I still haven't received everything yet that I ordered. I haven't received the spindle motor, and I haven't received the controller yet. And as soon as I get it, I'll, you know, sort of show you. But I think this is going to take me, to make the other ones of these, it's not going to take me as long. It's taken me, I think, 2 days, really, off and on, to, you know, get to this stage. So I think within just over a week maybe, I'll have all these finished, and we'll be starting to see some sort of assembly, I think. But I shall make some videos in between as well. Like, you know, I think I've had a few people ask me a few questions about the operation of the laser, the 100-watt laser, and which I will address with the video. And also I've had some questions about the 3018, and the they want to see more in-depth 3D carving with that. So I'll probably do a video on that as well. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll call this one finished. Okay, so it's bye for now.